ZNS Total Sports was brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Everybody, the Bahamas Sailing Association holding a mini regatta over the weekend in Montague Bay. It attracted both the young and the young at heart for 2 intense days of competition in what turned out to be very windy and choppy conditions. All the skippers did their best, and at the end of day 2, an award ceremony was held at the Nassau Yacht Club, where all the winners in the various classes were presented with their trophies and prizes.
It was very good. I had trouble beating them every single race.
What was the weather conditions?
They were good for I'm kind of big, so for the opti, so it was good for me because it was heavy.
Most of it was easy, but easy hiking, easy pulling the boat down, good race.
The wind was very rough, and as being a young person and small, I had to put in extra effort. The older guys, they were able to hold the boat down, but since I'm a junior, it was kind of hard for me. And I got the top junior award for getting the best results out of the juniors.
It was pretty rough out there. I kind of struggled to avoid getting swamped repeatedly.
Won 4 to 5 races yesterday, which had kind of almost put the series away early. And today was a little harder, a little stronger, a little more challenging, but I managed 2 seconds today and was enough to win this series.
Well, the Bahamas Judo Federation's National Championships taking place this past Saturday at the Xavier's Lower School Hall. Competitors showed up in record numbers to see who was the best of the best. And at the end of the day, Federation President Darcy Ramming deemed the event a smashing success.
Ranking structure so that we can bring more awareness to the sport. And the sport can begin to follow the leaders of the sport and the heroes in the sport. Because we have some really great kids that are doing some international level stuff.
I see you're starting with the young ones too.
Absolutely, you have to start with the young ones because by the time they reach 11, 12, you start getting a really high quality judo. A lot of kids receive their awards. We have kids that's coming from Abaco, from 5 different clubs around the island. And we're just excited at what's happening here now. Great development.
What can we expect now from judo moving forward?
I want to have 3 or 2 youth Olympians in 2014 in Nanjing, China. And I want to have a regular Olympian in the next Olympic 2016. In the meantime, we have to dominate the Caribbean region, the Pan American region.
Now among the spectators on hand for this year's Judo Nationals was President of the Bahamas Olympic Committee, Wellington Miller. He too was impressed with what he saw.
It's very important to keep a sport like this going in the Bahamas, and the executive of the Judo Federation is doing a great job. That's why I come around today to pay my respect, because I know how important it is for sports, and sports is growing in the Bahamas. And we in the Olympic Committee, we want to boost all sports. But Americans pass those sports, or Olympic sports. Sports is good for young people. It teaches them discipline, and it helps mold them for our good future for this country.
Well, following elections over the weekend, the Bahamas Softball Federation moving forward with its new slate of officers. For President Burkett Dorset, the focus now is to ensure the Bahamas represents itself well during international competition.
Softball is a team sport, and all cylinders have to be clicking at the same time for us to be successful in softball. It's not an individual sport. We start the calendar of international event in September of this year, when our men will travel to Medellin, Colombia for the Pan Am qualifier, and that's also a qualifier for the World Championship. The first 8 teams would qualify for the Pan Am Games, which will be held in Brazil in 2014, I think it is. And the top 5 teams would qualify for the World Championship that will be held in New Zealand next year, March 1st through the 10th.
Now, in addition to putting more emphasis on its national teams, the BSF will also focus on a busy local schedule, says Federation Secretary Daphne McKinney.
Now that I'm the executive of the BSF, we have lots of planned on board. We're going to be planning a very exciting round robin this year, and also in November this year, the Bahamas Softball Federation is celebrating its 40th anniversary. So we're going to be having a lot of celebrations leading up to that. It's not only going to be the Bahamas Softball Federation, but it's also going to be the local association. So the team that has just been formed today, some of them are old faces, and then we have a lot of new faces. It's going to be excitement. It's going to be the rebranding of softball, because as we said in the meeting today, and I personally told them, when we take on this position has no longer to do with self. We are a body, and we're representing young men, young women, and we want to teach them about the game of sport, the fundamental, but we also want to teach them how to be ambassadors for the sport.
Well, the Bahamas Baseball Association, with a busy summer schedule ahead, President Jim Wood talks about some of the events on their agenda.
We have the 15 and under World Championships for the 16th to the 27th of August, and we've been working at that. But right now we're also working for Saturday coming, the 28th. We're having a cookout at Pinewood Baseball Field, and we're having the beginning of the Jeffrey Uncle Wood Memorial Baseball Tournament. That will be over 3 weekends.
Now, while practice sessions have been going well, Wood says they always welcome more players to come out.
What I've done these last 3 weeks, we had the beginning of the second year of Search for Talent Day. We had that for a month. And what we've been finding in our schools, I've been watching the softball games and stuff like that, and we've been getting kids out of the schools. And we've been finding kids weigh 250 pounds and 14 years old and 6'7" and that kind of stuff. We saw a picture today thrown from the left side, same height, weight, and that sort of stuff. So we've been finding some good talent. Plenty of them don't play baseball, but we're willing to work with them to try because they got the talent.
Well, the Bahamas Baseball Federation impressed with the talent that was displayed at its mini event recently in Eleuthera. Among those on hand to take in the action was President Craig Salty Camp and Secretary Teddy Sweeting.
This was one of our mandates early in the year, and to actually have this tournament come off was a big thing for us in the Federation. I want to give kudos to Larry Forbes, who is the president of the Eleuthera Baseball Association, and all of his executives for a stellar job. Well done. I was very, very pleased when I came in this morning, and very exciting games. Both games were very, very exciting, and it's all attributed to the great effort that was given by the Eleuthera Association.
It's just a tremendous, one, a successful event, and two, it just shows you what sports can do for one in the economy and for these young men in this country. Give them a positive alternative, and I mean, watching all the people of Roxtown come out to enjoy this event, it was brought smiles on my face and just helped me, and I think everybody here to realize that we do have a positive alternative for our boys, and this was the event.
And finally, in this segment, come this Wednesday, the annual Fritz Forbes basketball tournament will tip off at the 8 Mile Rock Gym in Grand Bahama. Joan Davis Roll fills us in.
8 Mile Rock always get a jump on you because they have the gym down there, so they start practicing already. But this time, it will be different.
The trash talking has begun. The tournament will be hosted by the Total Education Center. President of the Bahamas Basketball Federation, Charlie Softly Rubens, with the lineup, while James Vega talks about the legacy of the man in whose honor the tournament is being held.
The dates will be from the 26th, 27th, and 28th of April. We have now 10 teams that will be taking part, and we will go in a round-robin format.
Fritz has been a big aspiration to the kids in 8 Mile Rock for many years. And many of them, you could remember Fritz's name by this legacy, continuing in his name every year. We're doing a tournament for all the work that he's done. Fritz also has a passion for girls basketball, so next year we hope they don't forget the girls, because his dream was always to keep the girls involved.
Assistant Director of Sports in Grand Bahama, Steve Burrows, commending organizers while giving the tournament a thumbs up for more reasons than one.
All the problems we're having as far as the youth is concerned, the crime, whatever. When you see men like these take their time and effort to come out and assist the young men of the community, we have to take our hats off to them.
Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Total Sports.
All right, thanks a lot, June. And that will do it for sports. But stay tuned, your weather forecast still to come.